Um, Black Panther is a fucked up, sucky movie. It sucks. The acting is very bad. The writing is bad. The dialogue, the direction is bad. It's not exciting. It's boring. It's a very bad movie. All right. Thumbs down. 1 out of 10. It's a 1 out of 10. It's a fucked up, stupid movie. Okay. And many black people are actually going to believe this, that Wakanda is real, you know? They're going to really believe that Africans have created a high-tech civilization, which isn't true at all. Africans have never created a civilization, never. I mean, black Africans. White Africans, yes. Egyptians are white Africans. They have created a very superior civilization, but Egyptians are white. They belong to the European race. But south of the Sahara, that's where black people live, south of the Sahara. But the Egyptians are north of the Sahara, right? That's the difference. So they are not Negroes. They don't belong to the Negroid race. They belong to the European race, Caucasian race. It's true. Although they're in Africa, it doesn't matter. Same with Hannibal. North Africans are white people, all right? So Egypt, it's so reckless, so irresponsible to be making this movie now. Now, many black people already believe many crazy things, so many crazy things. And for them, it's often very difficult to distinguish between reality and fiction, fact and fiction. It's often, for many, not all blacks are like that. Some are really smart, of course, right? But for many of them, it's very difficult to distinguish between fact and fiction. And many blacks think they're Jews, or they think that they were in America before the white people, which is not true at all. They came as slaves. Of course, there wasn't a single black man in the Americas before the arrival of Columbus, obviously. But they believe so many crazy things, and they're so aggressive at the moment. You got the knockout game, polar hunting, white lives matter. Black Lives Matter, sorry, that was a Freudian slip. The black crime rate is very, very high. Statistically, the probability that any given black person commits murder or shooting, illegal shooting, is about 60 times higher than for any given white person. And that's a very big statistical difference, you know. 6 times higher would be huge, but it's 60. So statistically, that's a huge difference. It's very significant. So in this climate, to be making a movie that suggests to the black people that they have, in fact, created a high-tech civilization, and they're going to believe that white people are hiding this fact. They believe in so many crazy conspiracies. And in this climate, you know, to pour oil into the fire like this, it's extremely responsible that Hollywood would be doing this, you know. Hollywood, you know, that they would be doing this. This is extremely irresponsible. And I can only say this movie is artistically, it sucks, as I said. But it's also politically extremely reckless and irresponsible. And I can only say shame on the movie makers. Shame on Black Panther. There is, and to the black community, I would like to say, Wakanda does not exist. Don't you believe that don't you believe that bullshit, my brothers? You know, my black brothers, don't you be believing that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know, there ain't no Wakanda. You know, black people, they before the arrival of Arabs and white people, they lived in jungles, they had little villages with little huts. Basically, they lived in the Stone Age before Arabs. They brought metal there, you know, and metallurgy, right? But before that, they lived in the Stone Age, and they had no written language. Black people, you know, and basically, you could say their black culture was very primitive. You could say before the arrival of Arabs and white people, especially white people. The Portuguese came first. The Dutch, you know, they reached the Afrikaners. They reached South Africa before the black man. So the white man reached South Africa before the black man. It's really historically true. There were only some brown people there, so-called Bushmen, but they're not Negroes, you know what I'm saying? And, it's extremely irresponsible to be doing this. And I can say shame, 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 shame.